Some disasters give you time to prepare. You see them coming, follow the updates, and make adjustments. Others happen much faster. No warning, no clear signs beforehand. One moment everything feels normal, and the next, it isn't. And in those situations, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall back on what you've already prepared. Welcome to Prepper's Paradigm, your channel dedicated to practical prepping and disaster preparedness. This video uses a computer-generated voice because my own is hard to understand due to an injury. Today we're looking at 5 disasters that can happen with little to no warning. These are not rare or extreme scenarios. They are real events that have happened before and will happen again. Each one can disrupt daily life immediately, leaving very little time to react or make decisions. In this video, we'll cover what these disasters are, how quickly they can develop, what the immediate aftermath can look like, and a few key preparedness ideas that can help you stay ahead of them. A large-scale power outage can happen instantly. One moment, everything works as normal. The next, the lights go out, and systems people rely on every day stop working. These events can be caused by equipment failure, extreme weather, or cyberattacks. In some cases, one failure triggers another, leading to widespread outages across entire regions. Events like the Northeast Blackout of 2003 and the Texas power crisis of 2021 show how quickly large parts of the grid can go down, often with little warning to the public. The immediate impact is easy to underestimate. Lights go out, but so do fuel pumps. Card payments stop working. Mobile networks become unreliable as backup systems get overwhelmed. Water systems may continue for a while, but they don't last indefinitely without power. Most people assume the outage will be short. That assumption leads to crowded stores, empty shelves, and long lines within hours. Preparedness here comes down to redundancy and independence. Having basic supplies at home, a way to produce light, cook food, and stay informed without relying entirely on the grid can make a significant difference. When the power goes out, there's no time to start preparing. Earthquakes are one of the clearest examples of a disaster with no warning. There's no reliable way to predict exactly when one will strike. In most cases, the first sign is the ground starting to move. The impact is immediate. Buildings shake, objects fall, and in more severe cases, structures can collapse within seconds. Roads can crack or become blocked, making movement difficult right away. Events like the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami and the 1994 Northridge earthquake showed how quickly normal life can be disrupted across large areas. After the initial shaking stops, the situation often becomes more complex. Gas leaks can lead to fires. Power and water systems may be damaged. Emergency services can become overwhelmed, especially in densely populated areas. Aftershocks can follow, creating ongoing risk even after the main event. Preparedness for earthquakes focuses on reducing risk before anything happens. Securing heavy furniture, keeping essential supplies in accessible locations, and understanding how to respond immediately after the shaking stops can all make a difference. Once it starts, there's no opportunity to gather what you need. Cyberattacks don't look like traditional disasters. There's no visible damage at first, no noise, no movement, nothing obvious happening around you. Systems just stop working. Modern infrastructure depends heavily on digital systems. Power grids, fuel pipelines, banking networks, and supply chains all rely on them. When those systems are disrupted, the effects can appear suddenly from the public's point of view. The Colonial Pipeline ransomware attack is a good example. Fuel distribution across multiple states was disrupted in a short space of time, leading to shortages and long lines at gas stations. The immediate aftermath can be confusing. Payments may fail. ATMs may stop working. Fuel becomes harder to access. Deliveries are delayed or stopped altogether. Reliable information can be limited in the early stages, which adds to the uncertainty. Unlike some disasters, there may be no clear sign of how long the disruption will last. Preparedness here is about reducing reliance on systems that can fail without warning. Keeping some cash on hand, maintaining a supply of essential items at home, and avoiding a just-in-time approach to everyday needs can help you stay ahead of these disruptions. When systems go down, options become limited very quickly. Flash floods develop far more quickly than many people expect. They don't always follow days of heavy rain. In some cases, intense rainfall upstream or a sudden change in conditions can send water moving into an area with very little warning. The speed is what makes them dangerous. Water levels can rise in minutes, turning roads into fast-moving channels and cutting off escape routes before people realize what's happening. Events like the Kentucky floods of 2022 and the Boscastle flood of 2004 showed how quickly entire communities can be affected. The immediate aftermath can be severe. Vehicles become stranded or swept away. Homes flood rapidly. Access to emergency services becomes limited as roads are blocked or destroyed. Many people get caught out because the risk isn't always obvious from their immediate surroundings. Preparedness here starts with awareness. Understanding flood risk in your area, knowing which routes are likely to become unsafe, and having essentials ready to move quickly can make a significant difference. When water starts rising, time becomes very limited. Industrial and chemical accidents can happen with very little warning. Facilities that handle hazardous materials operate every day. Most of the time, they do so safely. When something goes wrong, the effects can be immediate. A release of toxic gas, a spill, or an explosion can expose nearby areas within minutes. Incidents like the Bhopal disaster and the East Palestine train derailment show how quickly these situations can escalate and affect entire communities. The early stages are often unclear. People may notice unusual smells or symptoms before any official information is available. Guidance can be delayed or inconsistent, which makes it harder to decide whether to stay or leave. The aftermath depends on the type of substance involved, but it can include air and water contamination, evacuations, and long-term disruption to the area. Preparedness here is about awareness and flexibility. Knowing what types of facilities or transport routes are nearby, having the ability to shelter in place, and being ready to leave quickly if needed can all help. When something is released into the environment, decisions often need to be made fast. Each of these disasters is very different on the surface. Some are natural, others are man-made, some are physical, while others affect systems people rely on every day. But they all share the same underlying problem. They happen quickly, often with little to no warning, and the first sign something is wrong is when it's already affecting you. That changes how you approach preparedness. There's no time for last-minute shopping, no time to research what to do, no time to build a plan once the situation begins. You rely on what you already have. Food, water, lighting, communication, and a basic plan all need to be in place ahead of time. Preparedness isn't about predicting the exact event. It's about reducing uncertainty and making sure you're not starting from zero when something unexpected happens. Which of these do you think is most likely where you live? Or is there something else you're preparing for? Let me know in the comments. If you found this useful, make sure to like and subscribe. Check out our website, preppersparadigm.com, for more prepping guides and information. Thanks for watching. Remember, staying prepared doesn't mean expecting the worst at all times. It means putting yourself in a position where sudden problems don't catch you completely off guard.